Welcome back to Crib Talk. I'm Connor. I'm joined with
Caleb.
Melkam.
Moussa.
and we're a group of friends that live together who talk about the game of basketball. So what do you guys want to talk about first?
First, let's talk about the midseason awards. Starting off with MVP. Moussa, who's your MVP?
It was tough between Jokic and Embiid, obviously, but I had to give the edge to Jokic. I mean, it's in the name of the award, most valuable player, who's doing the most in every single aspect of the game. It's Jokic. Joel Embiid is better at scoring, better at defense, but when it's like all around, you have to give it to Jokic, and he's just the best in every advanced statistic you could think of. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Look, I'd agree with you. I'd also put Giannis in that first year. I think it's them three, Jokic, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. I had Jokic, of course, just the way he impacts the game and playmaking, of course. I think puts him over the hump, and the all advanced stats are in his name. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. All advanced stats definitely go to Jokic, and he's a playmaker that Joel Embiid isn't. But because of defense and from what I saw just a week ago, I'm giving the edge to Joel Embiid. I watched Joel Embiid cook Jokic the entire game, and I watched him game it on Jokic.
Yeah,
That's right.
One game. Their actual head-to-head match. I watched Joel Embiid game it on Jokic. Joel Embiid also averages nearly 7 more points a game than Jokic. Jokic, he averages more assists. He facilitates the offense. Joel Embiid is a much better defender and a better scorer. I'm giving the edge to Joel Embiid at this point in the season.
Are you just trying to switch up the MVP because Jokic has gone back to back, or is you actually think Joel Embiid deserves it?
I actually think Joel Embiid is the MVP.
Yeah, you're crazy, but
I think if Embiid plays at the level he's playing at right now and what he played at against Jokic, I think he's going to be MVP by the end of the year, but right now, mid-season, I have to give it to Jokic.
Bro, Jokic, he's averaging 25 on 70% true shooting.
Yeah, he's the most
insane.
efficient.
He could score more if he wanted
could.
to.
He
I'm not
definitely
going to
could.
lie. He just wants to get the offense going. And the way their offense is playing, when he's on the court, they're the best offense in the league.
I mean,
so,
one seed, it's clear it's working. So
isn't he averaging 10 assists? per
yeah,
game?
10.1.
triple-double last center.
It's over 10 now?
Yeah.
His assists?
Yeah. He's averaging 10 assists.
No other person is doing that as a center in NBA history.
But who else is leading the league in scoring as a center?
A lot
Like
of
Joel
centers
Embiid is.
have done. Okay, that's fair.
At least
But
at this point in time. And also,
Yeah.
the fact that you look at, yes, Jokic is a better playmaker, but Joel Embiid as a center is leading the league in scoring, and he's a very good two-way player at that position. That's where I'm putting my value at, is a player who can play both sides of the ball extremely well, and also, at one point, he is, one of the best scorers in the league, and he's also one of the best defenders in the league. So that's why I'm giving the edge to Joel Embiid.
I rock with that, bro.
Sure.
Hey, you backing up your claim, bro. I rock with that. All right, next. We got DPOY. Who y'all think? Obviously.
Is it a question?
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is either. But Moussa, you can.
I mean,
this one.
it's gotten to the point.
This one.
Jaren getting 5 block nights pretty consistently now, averaging 3.2 blocks. Only 2 other players have averaged 16 points and over 3 blocks per game for a season, and they're both Hall of Famers. So I think he's the best defensive player in the game. We saw the difference when he was on the court versus off. Grizzlies 30th in a defensive efficiency. He came back, and they came to first throughout the whole season. So that impact is just second to none.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely improved. And you look at the blocks per game,
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson, he clears. He's third in total blocks in the season, but he has considerably less games played than the people
And minutes.
in first and second.
Yeah.
You say they were the worst defense without Jaren?
Yes, literally dead last.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think just that stat that they
That's-
were the
that's
worst,
insane.
and they already came back on the season as a total
Yeah.
to be the first in defense,
Yeah.
and it's because of Jaren.
After that Reddit post, I don't know if I can totally give it to Jaren because
Yeah.
some of his blocks are
Getting
just.
some sly
Fraud
calls
boy.
at home.
Yeah. They really had to come up with a whole conspiracy to defraud his DPOY case, but
Yeah.
it's funny.
I'll let it slide.
It got likes. It was fun.
Yeah, and he's keeping his fouls down this season, which is huge
Yeah,
for him.
fouled out maybe 2-3 times this entire season. Still gets in foul trouble a little bit in big games. Some of the most recent ones on the 5-game losing streak against the Warriors, but
Throughout that 5-game losing streak, I think he was averaging around 4 fouls a game.
Yeah.
Or it was 4.2 at one point. But regardless, what other stuff he does, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
All right. Next, we got most improved player. Connor, what you think?
I have my guy, Lauri Markkanen. He used to be on the Bulls. He didn't really turn out too well on the Bulls. Didn't really get the light he needed to thrive. He's been a bucket. He wasn't confident. He struggled to put on muscle, like his first couple of years in the league, and now you can just see that bro is jacked. Yeah, and that's helping him a lot. Like, he used to, once he got the ball in the post, he would just pass it right out, not look for a shot. This year, he's like using his strength, his height in the post to get buckets. He's shooting better than ever. His efficiency is amazing. I'd give it to Lauri.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fan, you know what I'm saying? That's my guy. I do give it to Lauri Markkanen, just the jump he's made on the efficiency he's doing, carrying the Jazz, and they're supposed to be like one of the worst teams in the league, and now they're in the play-in. It's crazy. I think Shai, he is definitely having a improved year, but Lauri, what he's doing this year is just insane.
Yeah, I have Lauri also, and I also have Shai as a honorable mention, just because like Lauri jumps 10 points and higher in efficiency, and Shai also jumps 6 points and is more efficient. But to be honest, Shai was already him last year because he was averaging 30 and like 6 after the All-Star break in 13 games last year.
I was going to bring that up.
So that's why most improved player, someone who you already expect him to do really well through the upcoming season. I just can't give the most improved player to him because I'm not surprised.
It's kind of like with Ja Morant last year, though. If we're comparing it to last year, we kind of expected Ja to make that jump, and then he got it. But in the same way, Shai took a jump, and he's taking the same kind of jump from star to superstar.
Yeah.
Ja took that last year, and this year, Shai's doing it from star to superstar.
Ja was showing signs like the late season before, like he took that jump, especially
Yeah,
in
in the playoff run against the Jazz, we saw that. But that was a very limited
That was a little bit more limited. But I say if you see it like the season before, it's not really an improvement. It's just a continuation from the season prior. In my opinion, it's just showing consistency.
Yeah, it's just because if they're already playing super well at the end of the season, obviously that's not enough time to jump up their stats for that year. So that's why it looks like a larger jump from one season to the next. But I agree. That's why I wouldn't give it to Shai.
Well, I think it's debatable. It's just what do you value more? I think Lauri Markkanen, he's going from role player to star, and then Shai's going from star to superstar. So it's just kind of what do you value more? I think you go either way, but I think it's Lauri Markkanen, unbiased.
Yeah, I had Lauri Markkanen too. I had to give a little bit of flowers to Desmond Bane just because that first stretch of the season, he was averaging 25. So he slowed down because of his toe injury, and he's going to need surgery for that in the offseason. But definitely Markkanen, but I feel like if Bane didn't get injured, he would be in that convo too. But
yeah,
definitely Lauri.
He would be in the conversation.
Nah.
You wouldn't. We would mention him just like we are now, but
I feel like he'd be up there.
I do not think
25.
he'd be in the conversation, respectfully, bro.
I mean,
Well, Lauri Markkanen
One of the
doing
most
is
he'd be
actually
competing for
shooting.
second. He'd be competing for second.
For second?
Second place. Most
No.
improved.
Respectfully, no.
Dang.
yeah, respectfully not.
Dang, bro.
All right, we want to move on.
Yeah,
All right.
that's nice.
Rookie of the year, Melkam.
Rookie of the year, I have Paolo. I think honestly, you could maybe consider Benedict Mathurin, but at this point, Paolo, I mean, he is better in almost every single way than most of the other rookies. He's averaging 20 points per game, and he's doing it on both ends of the court. I mean, slightly inefficient, but not for a rookie. So he's playing super well. I'm giving him Rookie of the Year at this point.
Yeah, it's Paolo.
yeah.
He's scoring 20 points a game. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a discussion. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He was in some All-Star conversations, which is kind of crazy as a rookie. I can't remember the last rookie to get All-Star. Was Ben Simmons All-Star his rookie season?
No. I know Blake Griffin was.
I know, yeah, definitely Blake Griffin. But yeah, Paolo, he has some efficiency issues, but it's not really issues because he's a rookie, and all rookies go through kind of an adjustment phase to the league. So I don't think you can really knock him for that, especially because there's no other rookies that are doing what he does. And Benedict Mathurin also isn't having great efficiency this season, so I think it's just clearly Paolo, to be honest.
Hey, and shout out Jalen Williams,
Shout out Jalen.
Hey,
Look,
not at this
Jalen
point,
Williams.
but look out for him at the end of the year.
Look, I'd say if he was on a smaller team and he was getting the opportunities, because he already has Shai and Josh Giddey taking a ton of the touches away from him, he's going on good efficiency, playing good defense. You know, He's been a baller this year for sure, doing everything on the court.
Yeah.
Him and Walker Kessler. I mean, he's already one of the better shot blockers in the league as a rookie. Cleans off the glass well. Has been playing really well. Jazz have been playing really well with him. His big impact. I mean, nobody really saw the Jazz being this good with just clearing out their entire, with Donovan Mitchell going, Gobert going, and turning into they're an 8 seed right now, 7 seed. But yeah, shout out Walker Kessler.
Yeah, that's good. For next one, we're doing 6th man of the year. And for our qualifications, they had to be on the bench for 50% of the games or more. So with that, I think for me, I had Christian Wood. He's averaging 18 a game on great efficiency on the Mavericks. He's played 40% of the games.
How many games has he played?
He's played, I think, 42 games, and then he started 17 of them. So he's started 40% of games.
Okay.
If we're going by his qualifications, right now, I think it's Christian Wood. But if we're doing predictions, he's going to be starting for the end of the year. You know, he was starting on the Mavericks before he got injured. So I think right now it's Christian Wood, 100%.
Who do y'all have?
What do you think, Moose?
I want to give a little bit of. I think it might be Russell Westbrook. I think coming off the bench, he's one of the best
right
playmakers in the league, and he comes off the bench. So you got to give it to him. He's not efficient. He's not efficient.
No, I agree with Moussa. Okay, I agree with Moussa.
Gaslit right now.
I agree with Moussa that Russell Westbrook is 6th man of the year. He's
you.
averaging 16 points a
Y'all
game.
are better than
Sure,
this.
Christian
Y'all are
Wood
better
is
than this.
more. He's averaging 7 assists a game off the bench.
You're right.
He's playmaking, setting up the offense for the Lakers off the bench, and he's playing with straight bums off the bench. They have no
Exactly.
depth.
Have y'all looked at his shooting splits at all?
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
We were just gonna ignore that. You're just gonna only talk about his playmaking. We weren't gonna talk about his inability to shoot the basketball.
I mean,
Yeah, he's shooting 41% from the field, 28% from 3.
but I think that 8 assists makes up for it.
And he's shooting 48% from
I'm
two,
not gonna.
I believe.
All right, bro. Y'all rounding up with the 8 assists and 15 points per
Yeah.
game.
I
That's
said
crazy.
I
That
didn't
is
say
crazy.
8. I didn't say 8.
7.6, sure.
You can't even round up at 7.6. Bro. That is egregious round.
I said 7.
You said 16 points a game. It's at 15.7.
Listen.
Okay, that is not that.
That's okay to round
That's
up.
not a big deal.
Man,
It's
that
like
is
15 and a half.
Okay.
All right, bro.
Okay, bro.
Christian Wood, what he's doing for the Mavericks, he is just so efficient. He's so efficient, and he's actually playing pretty good defense. I'm not going to lie. And he's on a great team. I think that's important for a 6 man, how they're contributing to their team off the bench and is contributing to winning basketball.
Yeah. I have another guy that I want to bring up. Malcolm Brogdon on the Celtics.
Yeah.
He was averaging the past 2 seasons 20 points per game, and they traded for Malcolm Brogdon. They gave up a first to get him, and he's took on the role of 6 man, which is huge. His shooting splits have gotten better. I think this is his best shooting season he's had, just because he hasn't had to take as many shots. He doesn't play as many minutes as he used to, but he's making 16 points a game, and he's getting good assists. He's getting good rebounds. His shooting splits are really good. So I would give it to Malcolm Brogdon or Christian Wood. I'm kind of up in the air about it, but I think the playmaking side, Malcolm Brogdon puts it over the edge for me.
Yeah, I had an honorable mention for Malcolm Brogdon and Norman Powell. For Malcolm Brogdon, I think he's doing on the first seed the best record in the league, and I think that's very important on what team they're doing it on. He's still putting up great numbers on amazing efficiency on the best team in the league, so it's definitely an honorable mention.
I just think the fact that he was putting up 20 a game on the Pacers, and he was a starter. He was a valid starter. Any team would want him, Malcolm Brogdon, and then he's coming off the bench now. I just think that's major props to him.
I was curious about this. If y'all had any I had a couple people that I had for predictions for the end of the year that I'd have differently.
Like Tyrese,
Yeah,
if he kept coming off the bench.
and Poole. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Poole just because Curry's been hurt, so he's been starting more games than he normally would be. So I think that at the end of the year you could look out for Poole. But I mean, I was also thinking Poole as potentially by the end of the year. My prediction.
Yeah, I think it's Maxime Poole.
Yeah, especially because the
They're
Warriors
off
will be
bench.
much better by the end of the year than they are at this point
That's true.
in the West. So
All right. Do you want to go to the next segment?
Sure.
Yeah, let's move on.
What do we got?
We have All-Star Snubs. So
All-Star Snubs.
I'm going to start. What conference?
Let's start on the East. Let's start on the East.
On
East?
You want me to go? All right.
You go, Caleb.
First guy I have is James Harden.
Yep.
NBA on the MVP tracker, he's 7th, and he's played the same amount of games as Jaren. So if we're talking games played, he definitely deserves to be in the conversation. He's played the same amount of games as someone that's in the All-Star game, averaging 21 and 11 on some of the best efficiency of his career, I'm pretty sure. I think it's actually crazy that he's not in the All-Star game.
Who do you think he should have made it over?
Drew Holiday,
Drew Holiday,
for sure.
yeah.
And then I'd say you can argue DeMar DeRozan. I think it's close.
Bro,
I'm
y'all
not
got
gonna-
me messed up. I can't lie, bro.
I think it's close, for sure.
Y'all got me messed up.
Okay,
Always a bucket. No, keep
DeMar
talking.
DeRozan a bucket, but James Harden, he averaging, I think, basically 11 assists, 10.9 or something like that. He's on the 3rd seed in the
Bro, the Bulls
in the
having
East.
a great year, I swear, bro.
Yeah, Harden with his just his efficiency and his playmaking, I think he's leading the league in assists per game. So I'd do over DeMar and Drew Holiday.
Listen, the thing about the reserves for me is I just have to think about like the coaches are the ones that pick him. And I think they just value that defensive side to Drew Holiday, that he continues to be like one of the most underrated guards in the league. In the defensive side, like he's just a clamp. Like he's like one of the only guards in the league that could probably win Defensive Player of the Year, which I think is crazy. So I think that's why they gave the edge to Drew Holiday, and he's been getting disrespected, and the coaches want to show him love. So
Yeah, I understand it. It's not bad, but I'd rather have Harden.
Yeah, clearly the coaches are valuing defense since they gave Jaren All-Star in the Western Conference, of course. But obviously,
they're valuing defense this year.
I
so-
get it.
because it was all the coaches. Because if you look at the media and if you look at the fan vote, it's all Jaren's not even in there. So clearly the coaches had a lot of value for Jaren.
Hey,
Which
it's
I
been
think-
like that for they value defense. Last year, Draymond was a All-Star. He averaged 7, 7, and 7.
It's crazy.
And why was he All-Star? Because of his defense, his defensive impact.
Huh?
Yeah.
Anyone else in the East?
I don't really have any more snubs in the East.
Some people say Jalen Brunson, but I don't see him over Harden.
No, not over
So-
Harden.
I don't see
He's definitely
who
a snub, though.
Jalen Brunson would go over
Yeah.
at all in the All-Star. I mean, he might be scoring like a little bit more than Drew Holiday, but Drew Holiday, like Connor says, is a clamp and like, yeah. No,
And
I don't
Harden's
see
a,
Jalen
Harden's a better
Brunson
facilitator,
at
so
all.
it's
I had one more guy. I had Trae Young.
Trae
that
Young,
I
yeah.
think it's debatable between him and Drew Holiday. Like I wouldn't be mad if he went either way. But he's averaging 27 and 10, and
Yeah.
just watching Trae Young play, he is definitely just carrying the load for the Hawks, and he's backpacking them for sure. And they would be a terrible team if he was not playing for him.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and we just wanted to like leave out the most obvious guy, Zach LaVine. The Bulls deserve 2 All-Stars this year.
funny, bro.
Like last year we were like the first seed going to All-Star break. This year, we've just been unlucky. So we definitely deserve 2 All-Stars. DeMar DeRozan. Listen, I can understand, but let's be serious. DeMar DeRozan, it's like up in the air whether to give it to James Harden or DeMar for me, which is hard, bro. Because I watched DeMar DeRozan. He like no one is like a killer in the mid range like DeMar DeRozan. Besides maybe like a couple guys
KD?
like KD, Brandon
maybe
Ingram.
KD.
But DeMar, like his way he just pump fakes and gets people jumping in the air. Like people are scared to contest his shots just because they're scared to foul. But yeah, Zach LaVine, he had a terrible start to the season. That's what's really holding him back. But if he didn't have that, he would be putting up like 25, 26 a game. But he started out putting up like 20, 21 for the first like 20 games, which is just not.
Yeah.
You can't be having that if you want to be an All-Star. So
He had his coach benching him in late game.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, there's rumors that he like wants out. Like I don't even blame him.
Yeah.
I don't even
If I'm
blame him.
getting benched, what?
Bro, we can just talk about the Bulls for a little bit. I'm so sad about them, bro.
Yeah.
Like, our 3 like best players, none of them do anything besides score the basketball, and I don't know how people think that's like a championship like core right there. Like they thought they were building a championship core. it's pretty obvious that he'll never be
I
that.
think they were relying on Lonzo maybe to take some of the defensive load, and he just is still dealing with that injury,
Yeah,
and we're just
hopefully he
not
comes
getting
back.
any information on it.
Yeah.
It's-
Right now, we're just like moving forward like he's not going to come back.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad because he really held our team up together last year. Like before his injury, we were looking like pretty much a contender. I can't lie. Like we had that potential. We weren't like seen in the top like teams because we couldn't beat any last year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we could beat all the worst teams, but we couldn't beat the best
Forgot
teams.
about that.
But yeah, let's just stop talking about the Bulls. Let's just forget about them. Actually, yeah. Talk about the West All-Star Snubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wes also.
Who y'all have?
Bro, I got Anthony Edwards. I think that like because he like started off a little bit slow and because people expect him to make a bigger jump, he just didn't get as much hype this year. But he's still averaging 25, 6, and 4. And like he's playing, extremely well this year. And I don't see why. It's not like he's inefficient. Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards should be in there.
Who'd you have him over?
Yeah, who?
Ooh.
Man, it's
Maybe
hard.
that guy from Portland, maybe.
Nah, man, Dame.
That rando.
Man, Dame deserves to be in there, bro. I
That
think
rapper.
I think that guy
That tall dude from Memphis.
Guy in Memphis, I don't know, man. Like I get he's defensive,
That's
but
kind of Mickey All-Star.
Yeah.
I mean, best defensive player in the league.
I was shocked
that's
seeing the
not an
notification.
all-star?
I'm not gonna lie.
Jaren
I was
an all-star?
surprised, but
I was shocked,
just
man.
because of what I've seen from the voting, but it makes sense.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
coaches were clearly off one when they picked Jaren. Maybe they're just like tripping or something.
Yeah, they needed to have one defensive guy in there.
Yeah. Or like maybe they're just doing it for like clickbait or like views and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like
It
just
worked.
to get
They're doing it
Twitter
so there'll
going.
be just a little bit of defense in the All-Star game, but
Ooh.
Yeah.
You do need that.
That's all he can do, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
spot up.
They're tired of putting up 180.
I think
Hey, I was going to say, I thought Anthony Edwards, he should have made it over Paul George instead of Jaren. I think.
thank you. That's what I was
I
thinking.
I think
actually,
it's also close.
yeah, I think.
You're wilding, respectfully.
Nah.
No. Go on.
No, I think Anthony Edwards, he's doing everything better than Paul George, respectively. Maybe besides defense, but also Anthony Edwards is doing very good on defense this year. He's putting an effort on that end.
Yeah.
He's been scoring better than Paul George. He's played every single game this year. He's doing good playmaking. He's been a good defender. So I think it's over Paul George. I think for Jaren Jackson, he's been the DPOY this year, 100%. And just thinking about it more and like how much, like, I mean, defense is so valued, like in the All-Star game. I don't know. I think Paul George, he's below Jaren for me.
Yeah, because it's so much easier to make that comparison between Ant and PG, or even De'Aaron Fox and PG, but it's all harder to make a comparison of a power forward who relies on his defense rather than 2 guards, 3 guards that are all in like similar conversations.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to make that comparison because they do completely separate things. It's hard to gauge how valuable that is.
Yeah.
I get that. But like Caleb said, I mean, it's also partially because Jaren has missed time and Ant hasn't missed any, like, at all this season.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Y'all got any more in the West?
Shout out to Fox. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it.
One of the most clutch player in the league this year.
Yeah.
Scoring crazy.
Not really snubs, but just gotta mention Anthony Davis and Booker.
Yeah. If they played enough,
Yeah,
they
they
would
played-
definitely
they
be
played
in
more
there.
games.
The thing is, like, Anthony Davis played just as like
He
many
played-
games as Zion, right? Like that was the issue
I think so.
in Zion's.
And people were saying Anthony Davis played like more minutes than Jaren, but it's like
Hey, who'd you rather have, Jaren or Anthony Davis?
Okay, bro. Okay, that's crazy.
I know what I'm gonna say.
What's your
Jaren.
name, bro? What's your name, bro?
Obviously, Jaren.
Jaren,
You serious, bro?
bro, that's my guy. Do you want me to not say him? What?
Who
Like,
would
are
you
you
rather
being for
have?
real?
If you could have Anthony
I thought you were
Davis,
trying- I thought
if
you
you could
were
have Anthony Davis on the Grizzlies right now, tell me you would say no to that.
No, I would, but like, I gotta rock with Jaren. What?
You have to.
Yes. Who else is gonna defend him?
What,
He's
bro?
gonna defend
Over
him.
Anthony Davis?
No, not
bro?
like
That's
that. Like
crazy,
No,
bro.
for
who'd
an
you rather
All-Star
have?
game.
Who'd you rather have
In
on
my
the
team
Grizzlies?
right now.
Right. That's
Anthony
what he was
Davis.
saying. That's what he was
Okay,
saying.
yeah. I thought you were saying in the All-Star game.
Nah.
Okay,
Now you're
okay.
switching up, bro. Now that we're on
Don't
you,
make
bro.
it like that, bro. That's crazy. I know Anthony Davis's value.
All right,
Okay,
I was
you
about
can have
to
that one casual take.
that was about to
Won't
be
judge you,
crazy, bro. Nah, okay. All right. Melkam, we want to do
Yeah, let's move on. Now we're going to play a little bit of Would You Rather, Anthony Edwards edition.
Okay.
Anthony
Okay.
Edwards.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay.
25, 6, and 4.
Let's get it.
We're going to start off with,
Is it this season or just as a player in general?
like,
the
right now.
future?
Or,
I'm talking about, like,
If
right
I
now,
needed
this
If
season.
I need to win a
Wait.
chip,
If you,
No, as a player or who's played better?
as a player,
All right.
who do you want on your
Like,
team
moving
right
forward?
now? Yeah, moving forward. Who do you want on your team right now? We're going to start off easy and move our way up with, okay, we're going to start off with De'Aaron Fox. What do y'all
Dang,
think?
bro, you said just
Dang,
easy and
dang.
move our way up.
Respectfully.
My fault. That's on me.
Yeah, you got an easier one, bro.
That's on me. That's on me.
Oh,
We can start it with LaMelo Ball. I mean, but like,
No.
that's a little bit
We'll
easier.
start off with De'Aaron Fox.
But
Dang, bro. I don't need to think about this one. I can't lie.
De'Aaron Fox? I think. Bro, that is so
Bro,
close.
I'm gonna start off easy with this one.
my fault. I
I'm gonna
might.
start off with the
I'm
hardest
I
one.
could-
easy with this one though.
This might actually be the closest one. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay. So
But
why'd
we'll
you say,
see.
Why'd you say it was gonna
We'll
be like
see,
easy,
man.
Though?
Hey,
no one made you say that though.
I'm just saying that. So y'all just keep on discussing. Actually, hey, really, it doesn't really matter what I said. Y'all should discuss De'Aaron Fox or Anthony Edwards. Who do you want right now on your team, as a player?
Give me Anthony Edwards. Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
I think his athleticism and his mid-range and pull-up ability, like he can pull up over just about anybody in the league, and that's just scary. De'Aaron Fox, better facilitator, but I feel like De'Aaron Fox is playing at his best right now, and Anthony Edwards isn't playing at like his peak, and they're at the same level or one above the other. So I feel like going forward, I'm taking Anthony Edwards just because his potential is so much higher.
Are you sure it wasn't just because like Anthony Edwards went off against the Grizzlies when we were watching them?
Or
the
he
other
went
night?
off.
I don't remember that
Don't
actually.
remember that?
No.
I swear that
and he just
happened.
loves to do that.
No,
it's
Anthony
not that.
Edwards, what he did in the playoffs, bro, was he like the youngest player or something like that? He averaged 25 in the playoffs or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think
Sounds
so.
right.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. He went off in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
we've seen what Anthony Edwards can do in the playoffs. We don't know what De'Aaron Fox can do in the playoffs.
That's true.
That's
It's
true.
kind
That's
of
true.
unproven. 'Cause
So-
they're the Kings, bro. No one
Yeah.
expected them to be good this year.
I mean, 3 seed.
Yeah, they're the 3 seed, bro.
Slide edge to Anthony Edwards.
I'd say
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards as well.
Okay.
Ever
okay.
so slightly.
I also had Anthony Edwards, just slightly. Moving on, I got Drew Holiday next. Who would y'all rather have right now?
I'm about to say something crazy. Hey, I'll just talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to take Drew Holiday. I can't lie. Like him, like he just has way more experience in the league. He's just a vet that knows what to do and make winning plays. He's won a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. He's proven. He's consistent. He's a defensive stopper. I've already mentioned. He's also a bucket. Like he puts up like
Yeah.
18 a game.
I think 19.
19 a game?
19 a game.
Like that's really good for a guy that mainly does defense, and he's efficient. He's playmaker. He's main guard for the Bucks, who are a contender. I'm taking Drew Holiday.
I'd also take
I
Drew
respect
Holiday.
that.
I would take Drew Holiday for sure. I think Drew Holiday is the best guard defender in the league. You know what you say, he's proven. He's done it in the finals before. He's got a chip. Anthony Edwards, I think he still has more to prove before I can put him over Drew Holiday, respectively. But yeah.
What do you think, Moose?
So would this be like Drew Holiday on the Timberwolves or Ant Edwards on the Bucks, like that type of flip? Because
Nah.
if you're thinking future, obviously Ant because he's younger.
No,
But it's
no,
like
I'm talking about
is
for
it
this
like
season.
right
For this
now for
season.
the
Like-
season.
like
If I
this
need to win
season.
a chip this season,
Yeah.
who am I taking?
Ooh.
Like, yeah.
Also
You're
depends.
the coach, and it comes down. You can make a decision on one or the other. Who do you want?
Yeah, obviously it depends on.
And
like,
this is
on the
assuming.
roster.
No. This is assuming that whoever you pick is going to have who they need around them. Like they're going to have who they need around them to actually fit their play style.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like if there's another like primary scorer with Drew Holiday, then taking him. But if I need a guy to like get buckets for me every single night, I'm taking Ant. But Drew Holiday's just guard defensive ability is very unique in today's league, and he's underrated facilitator too. So
Yeah.
it obviously depends on the position you're in and like so many other factors. But I personally would rather have a bucket getter and Ant.
Okay. I had Drew Holiday just because he's a clamp. he can score like Connor said, and he also is a slightly better playmaker than Ant.
Yeah.
So I had Drew Holiday. Moving on to Mr. East All-Star snub, James Harden. Who y'all
Come
taking?
on, bro. All right, James Harden.
Yeah.
Taking James Harden?
Yeah. I don't think it's. You think it's close, Connor? I don't think it's close. Actually,
I just had to think about it. Like, yeah, I just had to think about it a little
It's
bit.
Harden, bro. It's Harden.
Yeah, I'd definitely
Okay.
give it to
Harden.
Harden. Same thing, experience. Harden, he's just a former MVP for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't score that much because he doesn't have to. Like he was in
Yeah.
Houston balling by himself, bro.
You got the number one scorer on his team. You don't need to
Yes.
score
Yeah.
like that.
And now like he's transitioned into the secondary or like third scorer with Tyrese Maxey, but mainly secondary guy. But he puts up 11 assists a game. You can't really touch
He's
that.
playing his role so well. Him and
Yeah,
Embiid,
found
their
his role.
two-man game is so nice to watch.
Yeah,
That's,
he just knows what to do.
That's scary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's James.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all thought that one was easy. I think y'all think this one's more easy then. Tyrese Halliburton off next. Very similar stats to Harden though.
Nah, it is definitely not as easy.
Yeah, that's
that's
a lot
not
harder
as
actually.
easy.
You gotta
Outside
stop
of-
saying that.
Yeah, what?
I keep on saying the easy ones before the hardest ones.
You did not gauge these right.
You gotta
That's
stop
all
saying
good.
that.
Harden's better than.
I'll just
yeah,
I ain't
Yeah,
precursing
yeah,
them
boy,
anymore.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
I'm just
Just
sending them
let him
out there.
fly. Yeah.
Yeah, to see what we think, and then like, oh, that was an easy one.
Bro, that was an
Looking
easy
back
one. I
on it,
swear.
you know?
Yeah. Okay.
that, that type of thing.
I messed with that.
Bro, this is
Yeah, this is hard, bro.
close. Bro.
It's like kind of the same thing without the experience and without the ability to be that guy, like the main guy. Because I don't think the Tyrese Halliburton can be the main scorer on a championship
Right.
team.
Yeah, definitely not.
I
gonna-
might go. You can tell. You know.
I'll give the slight edge to Anthony Edwards, just because what James Harden, he is the second guy. He would be playing so much better if he was on the Pacers. His stats, his points would be probably like 26 at least, in my opinion. If he was on the Pacers, he'd be getting buckets. James Harden, I mean, we're talking about Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, he a better scorer. His defense is elite. We've seen it in the playoffs before. Tyrese Halliburton, he's an amazing playmaker. I'd say he's a top 5 playmaker this year, for sure. Maybe in the league. But I'd give the slight edge to Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah. I think in a playoffs run, you want a guy who can play big in big games, and the Pacers just aren't in big games like that very often. Timberwolves been to the playoffs, played in playing game, played in the series against Grizzlies. They're on national TV a lot more than the Pacers, obviously. And if you want a championship player, you're going to want experience, and Anthony Edwards clearly does not shy away from any moment, and that's who I would want on a championship roster. Even
Mess
though
with that.
Tyrese does have the facilitating edge.
Yeah, I mess with that too. Yeah, I do.
I mess with
it.
Oh, you
yeah,
mess
I
with
mess
it?
with it heavy for real.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably go Ant. He a bucket.
Yeah.
That's really it, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's
No,
a
this
bucket.
one was really hard for me thinking about it, but like, kind of like what Moussa brought up, just the fact that Ant has been in the playoffs and has been that guy in the playoffs, and we just haven't seen that out of Halliburton. I mean, going from the Kings to the Pacers doesn't really help him, but
Yeah.
we haven't seen that yet out of him at least. Next guy is DeMar DeRozan. What do you think about that, Connor?
Bro. Guys. This is the one you should have said, hey, this is an easy one. Because it's an easy one.
Yeah.
We're going DeRozan.
Yeah.
We're going DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys? Right?
What do you think,
It would be
Moussa?
hard to make an argument against Rosen.
I'm
Listen.
going DeRozan.
He's just proven to be like, he knows what to do in the right situations. He's like the only guy that made back-to-back buzzer beaters, like
Oh, yeah.
back-to-back days.
Mm-hmm.
He just has like the craziest confidence. Like he low-key has too much confidence. I can't lie. Like people would just be passing the ball and like they don't really expect to get the ball back because like he's putting up that shot in the mid-range, but it's going in. His way to draw fouls, he's one of the best scorers in the league. But he ain't seen as one of the best players because he shouldn't be because that's all he do. He just score.
Mm-hmm.
He don't really do much else. But I think that just that scoring, he's one of the best. Like if you need to score, so like if he was on a different team that actually had good players around him, like and if he was on a contending team, people would just see him like much more highly. What y'all think?
Yeah.
No, I have DeRozan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I got DeRozan. I agree with everything you just said.
I like that.
I do think it is kind of close, though.
I think it's close.
I think Anthony Edwards, he's on the come up. He's saying DeRozan's a bucket, but in the same way, Anthony Edwards, he's a bucket. Anthony Edwards, I'd give him the slight edge in defense.
Yeah.
I do think Anthony Edwards he is playing a bit better because of the roster, how it's constructed around him. I'd say it benefits Anthony Edwards. And DeRozan's roster, I mean, I don't think it particularly helps him.
Yeah.
To play
That's-
They
better.
don't help him at all, to be honest. They don't be doing anything on the
I mean,
Bulls.
Patrick
Yeah.
Williams is a phenomenal player.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, all around.
Bright
man.
star. Well deserving of that
Oh,
fourth
yeah.
overall pick. Well deserving.
Yeah.
Like 1 after LaMelo, 3 after Anthony Edwards. Tyrese Halliburton was still on the board.
Yeah.
And like Maxey and Bane.
Dang. That is
And
tough.
Poku.
And Poku. I forgot about that.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's like
cannot
obviously the
forget
clear
Poku.
pick was Patrick Williams, and it's just helped out our roster so much.
Yeah.
And that's why we are one of the worst teams that isn't rebuilding.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
That's
Might need to
facts.
They
blow
all
it up
suck.
at the
Yeah.
deadline.
Yeah. It's hard being a Bulls fan, man.
Yeah.
At least y'all got Jordan.
Yeah, we got Jordan, bro.
Yeah.
We got 6
Y'all gonna
rings.
ride that forever.
Yeah.
We got 6
Just
rings.
hold
We're
on
gonna
to
have the
that.
6
Hold
rings
on to
forever.
that.
We ain't ever getting another one.
With that being said, I want to wrap it up with Trae Young. Mr. 27 and 10. I'm just pretty inefficient, but I'm gonna let y'all talk about that one.
Respectfully, I do think it's Trae Young. Just off what he has done, he can carry a team. His playmaking, what he's done in the playoffs before, he carried a team to the Eastern Conference Finals. I just think Trae Young, what he shines in the moment. He's the villain. I mean,
You don't want to be seen as the villain, but that's what he is.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
To the Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah. Into the league. That's what Draymond said.
Yeah.
Draymond the villain too, though.
Yeah.
So he can say that. It means a lot coming from Draymond.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's fair.
That's facts. I also had Trae Young just because we've been talking about how we've seen Anthony Edwards do it in the playoffs. Well, we've seen Trae Young do it in the
Yeah.
playoffs. He took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. I will say he had a very, very good supporting cast, and he was putting up some inefficient numbers during that playoff run, but I will give the slight edge to Trae Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I would go Trae Young. His efficiency hasn't looked the best this season. Also because their offense has just been stagnant without some shooters around them. It's really hurting them that they don't have Kevin Huerter this season. He's kind of having to do it all. Their offense, it just kind of goes back and forth between him and DeJounte Murray ISOing. But I think it's Trae Young. His playmaking is just different. He's been in the playoffs. He's proven as well. He's that guy. He can be that guy. So I get Trae.
Yeah, Trey. Kill and I were talking about this the other day. Trae Young leads the league in lobs, and the top 3 are him with other teammates.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is
It's
wild.
he's the best lob player in a while, and
For sure.
that is a very big impact if he's throwing those consistently every single game. So
Yeah,
until Anthony Edwards develops playmaking, it's hard to put him over Trey.
just watching the Hawks play, it's just obvious how everything is run through Trae Young.
Yeah.
And it's if they didn't have Trae Young, their offense would just be awful. It's crazy what Trae Young does for the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had him. All right. That was all the players I had for Would You Rather, Anthony Edwards edition. We want to move it on?
Yeah, we can talk about what's kind of like the elephant in the room. Kyrie, he just requested a trade. Kind of big news. Also not big news. He's done this before. We should have
Yeah.
expected it, honestly. That wasn't going to work out with Kyrie. There's a bunch of possible landing spots, rumors that he could end up in. I think Caleb, you had a couple trades that he could be included in.
Yeah, ESPN, they put out a couple potential trades, and we're going to be going through them. The first one is with the Lakers. It is the Lakers. They get Kyrie and Joe Harris, and the Nets get Westbrook, Lonnie Walker, and a first-round pick.
Yeah, The thing is, like, Kyrie's value right now, it's just kind of up in the air. Like, you're kind of only getting, like, a little rental for this season, and you have no idea what's going on in Kyrie's mind. So, I don't know
That's
how you're
true.
supposed to know whether he's going to re-sign or not. That's why the package might not be the best.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing with Kyrie. Like, you don't know what he's gonna do. He's already
Ever.
requested trades
Yeah.
and like
In basketball or
Cleveland
just in
and-
life, for real.
Bit of a liability.
Yeah.
He's a wild card.
Automatically,
Yeah.
that makes his trade value go down. And on top of it's the last year of his contract, and you don't know if he's gonna re-sign with you or not.
Yeah, and he's seeking out a 4-year, $200 million deal.
Dang.
I don't know what team is going to give that to him.
He
You don't
deserved
know if
like
he's
40
gonna-
mil.
He does the way. If he was just a basketball player,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and he was consistent, you knew he was going to play for you every game.
You could give him that 200 mil. You don't know he's gonna request a trade in a year, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
You
someone
just
has
don't
to,
know what he's gonna do.
like, his trade value is just to decline more and more the more he continues to like request trades and stuff like that. And that contract is going to be seen as like a liability instead of like, oh, you're getting a crazy good player that's also making $50 million.
Yeah. You think the Lakers would give up that much? Westbrook, Lonnie Walker in the first?
I think
Yes.
they
I think
definitely
they-
would.
yes.
I think they'd be dumb not to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Kyrie would be that would be the safest option is go to the Lakers where he's already with LeBron, someone he's comfortable with. And I think that would be the team he'd be least likely to like leave in a year or two.
Yeah. Me and Connor were talking about this. I feel like the Lakers are the team that has the best odds of actually re-signing him after this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Just because he's playing with LeBron, and also they just have instantly a super high chance of making out of the West because the West is up for grabs. I mean, the Nuggets are up there, and maybe the Grizzlies, but like, if the team that gets the Kyrie in the West are just instantly like one of the favorites to make it out of the West, so I
Isn't
think
it-
that West team would.
Isn't it
definitely
wild
not take
that
him.
Kyrie left the Cavs because he wanted to be that guy, and then he might end up like going to join back with LeBron
And be the
Full
third guy.
circle, yeah.
and be he would be the
He would-
second.
he'd- yeah.
He'd be the second guy. I can't lie. That boy is a bucket. But the thing is,
Maybe.
with LeBron,
Maybe.
I don't know how you'd fit with him and Anthony Davis, but he would be the primary ball handler with LeBron, I guess. But that's just crazy that he might go back after all these teams and pit stops to join back with LeBron.
And if they were to get Joe Harris in that deal, that would solve a whole nother problem they've been having all year.
Yeah,
is,
huge. Facts.
is their
It's
shooting.
shooting.
So if they can get both of those in a deal, only give up a first and Lonnie and Russell.
Because Joe Harris, he isn't
Yeah.
even playing that many minutes right now on the Nets.
Yeah, he's getting
but
minutes taken by a
I
lot
can
of
tell
other
you he'll
people.
play some minutes on the Lakers for real.
Yeah.
Because Lakers, they be playing Troy Brown Jr. He played on the Bulls last season. Bro, it's just awful. They play people that are awful
Shout out
that should
Oregon.
not be playing. And Joe Harris, he's a vet. He's a shooter. He's like led the league in 3-point percentage in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what you need if you're the Lakers. Like that would
Be a
make
shooter.
them in like a contender this season. Like that big three is
Easily.
the best big three in the league. They would add Joe Harris.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
yeah,
yeah, it's
they're replacing like you guys said, they're replacing a 28% 3-point shooter with Kyrie, and then they're also adding another 3-point shooter, and that's what they've struggled with all year. So they would instantly become a
Yeah,
contender.
and
with
they
that
get to
trade.
keep their 2029 pick, which is like, who knows what that's going to end up like? Because LeBron is going to be out of there. Everyone might be out of there. So they get to hold on that one. That's good.
I mean, you think the Nets would accept this, or they look for something else?
Dude, I don't know.
I think the
how
Nets
much
would
more.
want more.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more they're going to get, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't expect like obviously Kyrie is an insane player, but his value as a player is so much higher than his trade value. So I don't know what they're expecting to get out of this. I mean, their decision is either get what you can now or get nothing after this year. So I don't know what they're expecting or what they're trying to get out of him, but this is their chance to get any value out of having Kyrie.
Yeah, that's true. Next trade, we got it with the Clippers. You got the Clippers. They receive Kyrie, and the Nets, they get Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, John Wall, and Rocco.
That's a package.
Yeah.
One of the
That's a
packages of all
package.
time. Yeah.
Listen, for me, if I'm the Nets, right, I would have to think about whether I value like this little rental of a season with Kyrie or those role players.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think with those role players, like they're not gonna be a contender anymore. You know, and if you stick with Kyrie, you're still a contender. So
I mean, the Nets, they already got role players. They already have great
Yeah,
role
exactly.
players. They don't need
Plenty.
these guys. It's not going to do much for them. I'm not going to lie. I think they're looking for, I mean, either guys that can help them produce right now in like top end talent or picks.
Because, like, the thing is with the Lakers trade, they're getting worse. But they're also getting that 2027 pick that they could use to go get somebody.
And yeah, I mean, the Lakers, that pick is going to be very valuable in 2027,
Yeah.
4 years later. No one knows, like, how bad they might be.
Like, yeah, I just think there's probably a better option than just getting 4 role players for
Yeah.
Kyrie. You got to either get, like, a young player, assets, look in the future, or just get a swap for something that'll help you win right now.
Yeah, if the Clippers do this trade, instant, like, I'd say probably favorites in the West.
If they got
get
Kyrie. The thing is, I don't think he's
They get
gonna,
that shot making they need. They're
he's
already
not
a good
going to fit
defensive
nearly
team.
as well, I don't think. I mean, he could.
Kyrie?
Nah, he would fit.
I think he would,
I think he
bro.
would fit. They would make it work, bro. They'll make it work. I just think
Alright.
the Lakers just need him more.
Yeah.
They'd probably be willing to give up more than the Clippers.
Yeah. All right, next one. We got with the Mavericks receiving Kyrie, and the Nets get Spencer Dinwiddie, Reggie Bullock, and JaVale McGee.
I think Spencer Dinwiddie is at least a piece that you can use.
Yeah, going back
if
to
you
the
wanna compete.
Nets.
Yeah. Reggie Bullock is also, he's solid.
Yeah. I feel like they'd have to give up at least a pick, even if it's like a second rounder, just to add something to that. Just because Spencer is a lot of value, but Reggie and JaVale aren't anything they're looking for specifically.
Yeah, I think Reggie Bullock and JaVale McGee, that's like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think they're very good players.
I mean, they're getting Spencer Dinwiddie, but that's a piece, but like with those players, you're still not really investing in your future, and you're also not really a contender. So I don't see the point of the Nets taking that package unless they threw in some asset for the future, like a pick.
Yeah, I also just don't know if like Kyrie and Luka would fit necessarily. I think you would
That's
want
what
a guy
people are
that's
saying,
like,
yeah.
like secondary off the ball type of guy to go with Luka. Just let Luka be like the main like ball handler, because otherwise they'll just go back to like both of them isoing. I feel like that's just the vibe I get if
Yeah.
Kyrie were to go to the Mavs.
But I feel like you can also like see that. I mean, with the Nets right now, they have KD and Kyrie, and they're both just like going back and forth, kind of. I mean, and also the Mavericks, they just need more talent. They just need to put talent around Luka and
Save
hope
Luka,
it
bro.
works. They just
Save
need to hope
Luka.
it works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He needs hope.
So I think the Mavericks, this would be a very good trade for them if
I
they
agree.
did this.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, we got the Heat receive Kyrie, and the Nets get Kyle Lowry, Gabe Vincent, and Caleb Martin.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's similar to the last one,
Yeah.
to where they might need a little extra, but
If they threw in like a first,
I think
Honestly.
Kyrie, Bam, and Jimmy Butler, that three is
that is crazy.
that's a crazy
It would be
three to
contender.
have.
Yeah.
Contender.
Yeah.
If the Heat could get Kyrie, that would be amazing. I think he could re-sign in Miami too. He'd like Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
like
he
that'd be a
would. He
tough
could probably
place.
finish out his career there. So.
And Jimmy, Bam. I mean, as long as he doesn't get in an argument with Jimmy, but I think they would get along. They kind of
Yeah.
got that mentality that they would get
Yeah.
along. That's what the Heat need. Is literally Kyrie. I can't lie. That would be well worth like a rental and just get Kyrie even if he doesn't resign. Kind of like the Kawhi Leonard when the Raptors kind of traded for him, but it was a bigger package when they gave up DeMar DeRozan and like Pirtle.
Yeah, I don't see the Nets accepting this
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
I don't see him accepting the trade. That would be so nice for the Heat.
Yeah, for the Heat though.
That would be
Take that
so
in an
nice.
instant.
Yeah, in a
I mean,
heartbeat.
last year the Heat were already there. It's just they had Jimmy Butler as their number one scorer.
go-to,
I mean,
yeah.
He turns it
they
up.
could have beat the Celtics if they had anyone else scoring the basketball during that series.
Maybe. Yeah, I think the best trade would definitely be the Lakers out of all of these. I mean, I think they would do the Lakers trade, and then for the rest of these, I think they keep Kyrie. Like, they just try to get the chip instead of the other ones. I don't think they can do the ones with the Mavs, Heat, or the Clippers.
Yeah, at least they're getting a future asset because I like any of those trades. I feel like they're just still not a contender. But that's the only trade where they're actually getting potential future assets out of it. So that's the only one I would see the Nets doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always that chance that the Nets just blow it up. Because if Kyrie leaves, how long until KD leaves? And then at that point, they just go full tank and just get as many picks as they can for KD, Kyrie, and I mean, build around Claxton.
Yeah.
Build around whoever else they can get. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
They're in a very tough position right now going forward. They have a lot of things they're gonna have to do to change.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for listening to our second podcast. It's been over a month since our first episode, but we're gonna try to get to them at least every other week. So we should have podcasts out every weekend. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Crib
Peace.
Talk.